For Americans who have lived long enough to remember President Franklin D. Roosevelt's visit to Warm Springs, Georgia, it's a very special place. Another Democratic president went there, too. Frank Reynolds remembers vividly.
Jimmy Carter said today, Warm Springs is a place of history. It is also a place of great affection. Franklin Roosevelt's Secretary of the Interior, Harold Ickes, once wrote, "I have never had contact with a man who was loved as he is."
And the first thing we do is to distribute the spinach, which you're all so fond of. And then we proceed to do that.
And Warm Springs is a place of history, too, because John Kennedy came here in 1960. Though this aging film does not show it, Kennedy's coat was nearly torn from his back on that day by the crowd surging about him, leaping, pushing, lunging, just to touch him. It was a preview of Camelot.
And I believe it's our function to so build our society here, to so reinvigorate it, to so move it, that people around the globe want to wonder how they can follow our road, what the President of the United States is doing, not merely what they're doing in the Far East and what Mr. Khrushchev is saying or doing. That is the issue.
As a candidate, John Kennedy was considered to be an outsider. As in 1932 and in 1960, the choice before our people is clear.
It was a friendly, happy crowd today, but nobody went wild over the new hero. However, that is not his style. Legends always seem to overwhelm the living. So Jimmy Carter runs a risk coming here to this place, so filled with memories of Franklin Roosevelt, still sorrowing for John Kennedy. He does not have the glamour, the charisma of a Kennedy, and we cannot know whether he has the vision of a Roosevelt. But he does have the nomination of their party. And if he is to succeed, it will not be because he invokes the past, but offers a program for the future. No, he is not a patrician Roosevelt, nor a thoroughbred Kennedy. He is a Georgia farm boy, and this is 1976. He is Jimmy Carter, and he's running for president. Now he's running hard. This is Frank Reynolds, ABC News, Warm Springs, Georgia.
A few weeks ago, after the Democratic Convention, we presented a 5-part series on the Democratic ticket on this broadcast in an attempt to get the flavor of Jimmy Carter and Walter Mondale before the intensity of the real campaign season. Tonight we begin a similar series on the Republican ticket. We talked to Jimmy Carter at his home, and today we talked to Gerald Ford at his, starting outdoors on a beautiful day in Washington. We walked around the Rose Garden and sat down outside the Oval Office. We began by asking the president, since Jimmy Carter's religious views have attracted so much attention, what about the Ford religion?
I and my family have a very deep dedication to the Christian faith. And I personally, through the church, my Episcopal church, have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I would add this, that in my daily life, whether it's in public or in private, gives me the opportunity to carry out this faith and this relationship. I don't talk about it a lot, but I feel very strongly and very deeply about it, and it's something that I've held for a good many years.
A couple of years ago, when you'd been in office, I think about 6 weeks, I talked to you and I said that apart from the awesome responsibilities of the office, weren't there some enjoyable things about being president? And you said you loved it. Have the 2 years done anything to that feeling, Mr. President?
Not at all, Harry. I still thoroughly enjoy the responsibility, the challenges, the opportunity to try and do things constructively in the office as President of the United States. It's a wonderful experience for a person like myself, who had no consuming ambition to be president, never intended to seek the office. The challenges, because I was free of any personal ambition, gives me more latitude, gives me more flexibility in the things that I want to do and hope that I can do.
You said, I think, within a couple of weeks after you became president, one of your children said something in disagreement with something you'd said. You said, well,
unusual.
You said you never tried to tell them, either your wife or children, what to say or what to think. Didn't think you could have if you tried. Has that changed any? Are they still independent spirits?
They certainly are, and as a matter of fact, I think they've gotten more assurance. They've become better informed. They know the differences. And at our family dinners, as a matter of fact, last night at the White House, we had all of the children and our daughter-in-law, and we had a real family dinner that was probably one of the most enjoyable we've had in a good many years. And let me assure you, the discussions were very, very much give and take, and they have no hesitancy whatever to tell their father how they disagree or how they think things can be run better.
They ever change your mind?
Yes, they have had an impact, as a matter of fact. Each of the children are specialists in a certain way, and in those areas where they think they have an expertise, they're very vocal. And on several occasions, I'm glad to say, they gave me a different perspective and a broader view, particularly the view of young people, and there has been a change in a decision that I was about to make.
I had the feeling, knowing Mr. Johnson fairly well, that it was terribly important to him to be elected in 1964, that he never really felt the office belonged to him until he got it from the people. Do you have a feeling like that, sir?
Certainly, it would be very, very helpful for me to actually be elected in 1976. I came to this very important office through the most unusual circumstances. I haven't let that fact bother me. As a matter of fact, in some respects, it's probably been helpful because I had the endorsement of the Congress, and certainly I've gotten the support of the American people during some very trying experiences. But to do things affirmatively, and I have a number of things in mind that I feel must be done in the next 4 years, being elected, getting a mandate from the American people in November of this year would give me a greater impact on the Congress, a greater capability to move ahead in these areas, particularly of quality of life for all Americans.
During the rest of the week, we'll explore President Ford's philosophy on foreign and domestic policy and how he feels about his time in office so far, including 2 assassination attempts and the Nixon pardon. That's the news. I'm Harry Reasoner. Good night.